First of all, we're excited to be here. We think we're in a great field. I think this is, if you look around the regionals, this one from top to bottom has a bunch of good clubs in it. So something we're really looking forward to. We know it's going to be a great venue and a great place to play, so excited to be here.
Just raise your hand if you have questions. Players. Travis.
For either of you guys, is there any advantages or disadvantages in playing in the first game of the day? What's kind of the feeling to get the thing started?
I don't think there's any necessary disadvantage or advantage really. I mean, depending on whether the game's at 1 or the game's at 6, we're just going to try to play our game really. I guess you could say the early game, in case there's weather, it doesn't get backed up. That's why I figured they picked to play at 1, but it doesn't really matter to us.
Any other questions?
Kind of, what are you, a little bit of preliminary scouting, what have y'all seen from A&M, and what do you think some of the key matchups are going to be?
Obviously, they come from a good conference, good team. They can really hit. But it's just any other game, really. I mean, obviously we'll go through a scouting report on Friday for their guy that they're throwing. But in terms of pitching, Kaleb can probably go more over there with that, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, obviously we know they won one of the best divisions in the country, so they're going to be good top to bottom. So, but I would say the scouting is more about ourselves, not really the opponents. We want to look at ourselves, see where we can improve, and where we can play to our strengths to match up.
So what about the environment? You guys played in a lot of big-time environments this year, the last couple of years. I mean, you guys program's been a lot of NCAA tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
What about preparing for the environment?
I mean, there's some guys on this team. We went to LSU last year. We played pretty well in that stadium, and I thought we played pretty well at Swayze Field this year. So I mean, the big environment, I don't think it's really a big thing for us. We've played in front of a lot of people. We've played in front of not a lot of people. So it's just a game.
Kind of in the same regard, A&M actually doesn't have a lot of guys who have played in a regional, but y'all have some decent experience. How much of that can you kind of lean back on heading into an opening game like this?
I mean, we've had some guys on our roster that have played in a regional, but this is the first one for us in 4 years. So, I think we're just excited to get going, really. We put ourselves back where this program belongs in the NCAA tournament. We're just excited to get going.
How much does the upholding of the tradition of the program do you guys talk about as players? I know you've dominated the Summit League for quite some time, and regionals are a part of the program. Is that something you guys talk about a lot, that you have to uphold a tradition?
Yeah, it's pretty tough, coming to practice every day and looking up at the right field wall and you see 20-something NCAA tournaments, and I think we had almost 20 in a row at one point. So, we had the COVID year. It was my first year here, so we didn't get to go to a regional, and then obviously last year we didn't get the opportunity to go to a regional. So I would say it's more of an end of the year goal. We want to get to a regional, and we don't want that to be the end. We want to keep going. So it's motivated us.
So I guess, what do you guys consider, what's been your big success this year? Why have you guys had success? What do you guys do better than maybe some other teams do?
I would say our lineup, top to bottom, we have good players and we have good pitching, and we play together. We play as a team. Folmar always says we play well, we win, and most of the time that's true. So I mean, we just got to play our game, and if we come out and do the little things right, execute, then we'll be all right.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll turn it over to questions for Coach.
You guys can go ahead. Everybody good with these guys going ahead and get going? We're getting ready to stretch here. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks,
All righty. Got questions for Coach? We'll open it up to Travis.
Yeah, Coach, I know Coach Lossnagel said he put a lot of thought into which game you wanted. They picked the first game. What are the pros and cons from your angle about playing the first game in the regional?
Well, for us, I think when you're the visiting team, I don't think it matters a whole lot. You know, we're going to be in the hotel, and whether it's early or late, you know, doesn't really matter. So, you know, a lot of times when you get to this point, some of the pressure becomes on the team that is hosting or that is the home team. So, for us, I don't think it matters one way or the other.
From a pitching standpoint, how do you combat a lineup that's been so hot as A&M's has been?
Well, you know, you look at the entire tournament, I think, you know, all 4 teams in here offensively have a chance to be really good offensively. A&M's been offensively all year long. So, again, for us to have a chance and stay in the game, we're going to have to pitch really well. There's no question about it. We're going to have to pitch really well, and with our starter and our bullpen guys have got to be sharp too. So it's going to take a collective effort from our pitchers to kind of keep a lot of these offenses in check.
Also, do you think, it seems like all 4 of the teams here can run and are willing to run. Does that mean conversely holding the run game down will matter in this regional when you're on defense?
Yeah, I think the best way to hold the run game down is not let anybody get on base. You know, that's going to be as much key as anything. You know, we thought we ran a little bit, and we did run a little bit more this year than we have in the past. And you look at all 4 teams in this regional, and I think we've run the least amount. So, without question, I think there's speed in all 4 of these lineups, and it's going to be part of the regional too. You're going to have to get to this time of the year and make sure you do all the little things right. And one of those things is being able to hold runners and not giving up free bases. But it goes back to, man, if you want to stop a really good run game, try not to let them on base, and I think we're going to have to do a good job of doing that.
The players talked about, you said if you play well, you'll do well. Do you, as a 4 seed, do you embrace underdog? You don't talk about underdog, or you just stick to what you guys do?
Man, we don't talk about any of those things really. I think you know, y'all asked the question to both these guys. You know, what do you know about A&M? What are you doing about A&M? And they're good. We all know they're good. But our focus isn't on who we're playing. It's on how well we play. We feel like if we play well, we're going to have an opportunity to stay in the game and win. And if we don't, we're probably going to struggle. So our focus really goes to what we're doing and how we approach the game and what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and really not worry about who you're playing or where you're playing.
Travis?
I know your team had some success against a Schlossnagel-led TCU team a few years ago. How much can you draw on some success like that for a regional like this going against the same coach team?
None. It was a long time ago. None of these guys were here. You know, they don't remember those kind of things. I think, you know, we've been blessed and we've been fortunate to have a lot of good players over a long period of time. And at that time, we had a good team that year. We had good players that year. So we feel like we have a good team this year with some good players. So, but in terms of what they're doing, man, that was a long time ago.
Coach Schlossnagel said even though it was at different times, your hometown in Pennsylvania is very close to his.
Very close.
Maryland. I mean,
Yeah.
How much did you know of him coming up? How do you know him at all these days?
Well, I'm gonna age him a little bit too. But when he was an assistant coach and I was in high school, I got recruited by him a little bit. His hometown and the town where I grew up are 30 minutes apart. He grew up in Hagerstown. I grew up in a small town in south central Pennsylvania, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. So coming out of high school, he was an assistant at the time. Where I think it was at maybe Georgia Tech, maybe Clemson, I can't remember. But recruited me out of high school. So it's funny how things come full circle. Several years ago, this has been a long time ago, and he was at Tulane. We had a chance to talk about it a little bit too. And yeah, it's weird how the baseball circle is very small and it becomes that small.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.